Right, I don't get it. I don't know. You'll get it wrong until you get it right. You've spent 5 minutes trying to push the thing. Them rich kid supercar rebuild channels. Here we go again. Let's get it on. Was that all for nothing? Warning, I am not a professional. If you don't have a sense of humour, then you probably won't enjoy this channel. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm not trying to be arty with the shot or anything like that. My tripod's broke. I know what you're thinking. Who's that kid on the retro rebuild channel? Oh, I've just had a shave, that's all. That's why I look a lot younger. Right, let's try and sort out this carb. Let's try and see what the problem is with it. And then I'll show you some goodies I got for Christmas. Of course, it's windy and rainy and cold. First, I'm going to try and kick her over without doing anything. Then I'm going to pull the carb pipe off and then try and kick her over again because that's when it ran last time. See if it does it again before I do anything. Look at that. What a sexy looking motor. Let's get it on. Right, I'm not expecting her to start up, but let's kick her over. Let's pull the choke out, kick her over and see if she starts. Right, let's pop the carb pipe off again, kick her over and see if she runs. I don't know why it would do that. Right, I'm removing the accelerator bracket here so I can gain access to the two screws that hold the fuel pipe on. I really should adjust them so I can take the pipe off without removing the accelerator bracket, but I'm also putting a bottle on to catch the fuel as it pours out. I've got the car in top gear here and I'm rolling it to check the points at the widest point again. I'm going to adjust them, make sure they're right. And I'm removing the two bolts that hold the carb on here, which are a right pain to get into. I keep dropping them. Removing the pin that holds the accelerator to the bracket. There's a split pin and there's like a bar with like a hole through it. Now I'm taking the carburetor off and I'm going to admire it like some sort of carburetor version of Hamlet. Right, that's a carb off. Let's open the top of it up. I seriously need to tidy it. Crazy untidy in here, like. Does everyone remember that from when I put the new diaphragm in the car and I had to drill this one out because it was well rounded off? Probably a better way of doing it, but you know. There's 4 screws that hold the top of the dash pot on after you've unscrewed the piston that sits inside the air valve thing. There's a spring that pushes the air valve back down. There's the diaphragm that's attached to the air piston with the metering needle on the end of it. Right, I don't get it. I took the retaining screw thing out of there. Out of where? Whoa! How weird, man. Should have took that should have took the diaphragm out, but so retaining screw out of there didn't seem to do anything compared to like another one that I took apart in the past. Like just mucking about. Is that brass collar thing in there not meant to be flush with the top of here? And there's something in there, isn't there? But what do you use to adjust in there? Is there an adjuster in there to bring this bit up to there? The brass collar up to make it level? And is this right? Or when you take this retain thing out, is this needle jet meant to come out? Let's check out the float bore, make sure nothing in there is blocked and that, and then it'll probably cut to a few days later when you see the rest of it, but definitely, I don't know what I'm doing. Learn by doing, learn by getting it wrong until you get it right. You'll get it wrong until you get it right. There's 6 flathead screws, I think it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 retaining screws that hold the bottom of the float bowl on. And there we go, the floats. With a little shut off valve thing, like a little toilet. Giving it a clean with some carb cleaner here. Highly flammable and smells lovely. So basically I've sprayed some carb cleaner in that through there. Whether or not I'm meant to, I don't know. Like I say, I learn by doing. Carb cleaner from there, none of that's blocked in there. The valve or the jet or whatever it is to the floats isn't blocked, that's running nicely. It's got to lie with this, isn't it? I'm going to research, well, the next part of this video will be a few days later when I'm going to research this. I don't know. It's meant to, but is there some sort of tool you can get to go in there? Is it a specialist tool, or can you make something? And does that adjust this flush up with that? Is this meant to be moving about that freely? Or what? Like I say, that screw, what's it doing? Because I've mucked about with one before. Hang on, where is it? Like when I was, where is it? But this is off a Stromberg as well, but not a CD 150. What's that one again? I'll add it in later. But this is off a Stromberg. That goes in there. I think you make that flush with there. And then there's an adjusting screw in there. And you tighten that up there, leave it there. So I'd imagine mine's meant to be the same as that. It's meant to retain the needle. I don't know. I'm scraping off some of the old gasket here, making sure, well, try my best to scrape it away from it so it doesn't go into the float chamber, float bowl. I'm going to wipe it off, and I'm going to give it a clean out with some carb cleaner as well. Standing in my kitchen now doing this voiceover bit. Gonna maybe sell a cup of tea. Learn by doing. Just give this a little bit of a clean where it's going to sit. Clean it up with some carb cleaner as well. Don't want to scratch the hell out of this too much with it being aluminium. I think I've got new seals for these as well. That one seems alright. I'm not going to swap it out with the one that's in the kit, because like I say, the kit looks a bit cheapy. I mean, it wasn't cheap. But I don't like the fact it's got paper gaskets, and that I might look for another one. See if you can get ones with rubber gaskets. I don't know, can you? I'm standing really close to my phone here as I'm doing this. That's why when I'm breathing I sound like Darth Vader. So I'm carefully placing the float bowl chamber bitty over the gasket so the holes line up with it, and putting the 6 screws back in. Standing in my kitchen doing this voiceover thing. Think I might get myself a cup of tea. Maybe a Knopper or two. So a new gasket on the float bowl bit. See if that rubber seal holds up. Cleaned it out. I know you can check the floats to see if they're at the right level, but it's definitely letting fuel in. And if it starts overfueling, then the more we take it apart and put it back together, the better we'll get at it. Hopefully. So it's now just the next day. I had got a cheeky holiday from work last night, so I've got a little bit of extra time today. And after doing some research, yes, there is some adjustment tools for these Strombergs. If you're going to adjust one of these, there's 2 types of adjustment tools, I think, for the Stromberg 150s. Whether it's the same for the 175s, I don't know. But basically the other one is a simpler one where it's just this Allen key all the way at the end. So I think you can get away with just using an Allen key for the adjustment in there. But this one takes this one. I think you can buy them for about 20 quid online. After doing some research, by the way, it's a minefield of like stuff for these carbs. Even though some of them say the same serial numbers on them or whatever it is, they're different. Like all the stuff on the Viva. But asked me dad if he had any carburetor adjustment tools, and he said he's got a one from a Stromberg of a Triumph. He said if I want to try that. So I said, yeah, why not? Give it a go. And it's the perfect one. So this goes in there like that. Lines up like that. You feel around. Hang on a minute. There you go. And you turn it whichever way. Like anti-clockwise to push this brass thingy, whatever it is. And clockwise to take it down. So I'm doing that flush with it. Will it solve the problem? I hope so. That'd be great, wouldn't it? By the way, I've had a quick tidy up of the garage. It has begun. I mean, it by no means looks like one of them rich kid supercar rebuild channels, but it's looking less like Steptoe and Son's yard. That's the most important thing. Harold, you dirty young man. Right, one adjusted needle with this thingy bob. I'm a carburetor expert now. This thingy bob adjusts the doodah on that thing. Just spent 5 minutes trying to push the thing, thinking, oh, is the handbrake seized on? I had the handbrake off, thinking, oh, there's something up with the adjusters on the shoes. Forgot there was a wheel chuck in. Right then, you lovely lot. Let's see your kick over. Right, just took the carb off again to check the needle jet. I was going to try and adjust it again, but I put some carb cleaner in her and just ran. She kicked over. So, well, take the carb back off again there. Right, carb back off. I'm going to take the bottom of the carb off. Super careful, and it should be full of fuel, right? Let's start with that. Here we go again with the carb. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Well, there was fuel in the bowl, but was there enough? Like, I don't know how much I spilt before I managed to get it off, like, carefully. Nothing seems to be blocked. Maybe, is it this valve? Well, is it the case of bending this up a little bit to let more fuel in? Right, so here's where we're at. The garage manual that I've got said to set the main jet, insert a 0.002 feeler gauge, which I've done, and it tells you to put it in there between the bottom of the air valve and the top of the main jet until you feel it, like, adjust it up until you feel it like bite it so it slips, and then slacken it off 2 full turns, and that's meant to be its set. But then I found the updated bit that I've got. This is the only update one I've got, update supplement, and that says completely ignore that. But it says a method to use on both of them is this one, which basically says take it right up to level with the bridge and then slacken it off 1/4 turn. I don't know, except for 74 models. What happened in 74, like? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is just put it on set with the main jet set out two full turns. Put it on the car. I'm going to double check this. By the way, this is the needle valve. This, like, well, shut off valve, isn't it? This gets called the needle valve. I keep calling that's the metering needle. That's in the air valve. And I think that's one full thing. That brass thing that I was saying, what's this? Is the full needle on this one. You get me? So let's put this on the car. And I'm guessing if it works, the mixture should be richer than Rishi Sunak. If it doesn't, we'll pop it back off and try again. But as long as it runs and it riches out, then we can carry on messing about with this to get the right mixture eventually. Is there some sort of tool you can use that goes in there while that's on there to adjust it while it's on the car? There's got to be, isn't there? Because that just moves easily by hand like that once you've got the bottom of the flow chamber off. Anyway, I might take this off, check in there, make sure there's no crud, and then pop it back on the car and see if it runs. Right, that's it, ready to go on. This was bent on here, so I've adjusted it out so it actually pushes the butterfly thing open as well with the choke. And I've replaced the spring in it with a spring from a spare carb I've got, because same springs, but This one seemed a bit springier. Whether or not that'll work or help, I don't know. But trial by error. Adapt and overcome. Let's go and put it on the car. Right, that's the car back on, battery connected up, put the leads back on because I had them off to get into the car. By the way, they're a pain in the neck, the nuts on the carb, the two nuts to get on, you kind of get a spanner in. Are they Whitworth as well? I might grind down a tool so it's easier to tighten them up. Anyway, let's see if she'll kick over. If she doesn't, I'm going to put a Vauxhall Omega engine in her. Right, car back off. Right, took the needle valve out. Wow, is this camera dirty? Steam. Took the needle valve out and it's got some sort of gauze thing on the end of it. So carb's back off, needle valve out. I've cleaned all that out. Gonna check everything, put it back together, and I'm gonna adjust it to what it says in this one about the later model ones. And we'll take it from there. Right, so I've cleaned out the gauze on the jet, and what I've done is the needle is flush with the air valve in there. And what it says to do in the book, and it says this is for all Strombergs you can do, is basically lift up the air valve and hear it. Wind the main jet up all the way. Lift up the air valve, and you can hear a tone. Slowly unturn the air valve until you hear the tone change, and then once it changes a quarter turn. That's what it says in the garage manual. Let's give it a go. Right, let's get it back on the car, and if it doesn't work, let's cry. Right, attempt number, I can't remember. Is that me? That smells of fuel. Woof, I'm extremely flammable at the minute. Here goes nothing. I'll attempt this. If it doesn't work, then I might adjust the needle through the top of the dashpot because maybe there was a reason it was up that high. Someone been mucking about with it before. Well, let's give it a go. Interesting. It starts with the carb cleaner down her neck, kicks over lovely, she's firing lovely. But when you put a bit of fuel in the carb, she won't start. Like the fuel that I've emptied out through the actual line. Because I put another plastic bottle on and kicked it over so the fuel pump spat it out. Does that look right? Could it be dodgy fuel? I mean, when I poured some down his neck, I just didn't want to fire on it. What's going on? Could there be water getting into my tank? I don't know. Maybe fresh fuel. Run the fresh fuel off the pump and then take it from there. Could I have too much of this stuff in it? Could this affect it? The lead replacement? I don't know. There's a big pool of water sitting on here. What's a bet it's leaking in through that gasket? Where the hell's it getting in from? Some a bitch. That gasket is sopping wet. And it doesn't smell very fuely in there. Suppose it wouldn't do if it was watered down fuel. So, car back off, empty out the fuel bowl, do an alternative fuel supply with some fresh fuel, running in from a jerry can. Then we'll take it from there. But that'll be tomorrow morning. Off to work now, unfortunately. We'll see you in a minute. Boom, and we're back. It's now the next day. Saturday, the video's going out tomorrow. I've got some go-go juice on the way to work. Let's whip off the carb, get the fuel out the bowl. Run the line, get the crap out of the line. Sorry, I've just woke up after a night shift. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of warped. Pushed her in a little under the garage door, keep her dry a bit. Starting to die off now, the rain anyway. Hopefully it'll be nice and dry by the time I come to start her. Just spent 10 minutes trying to fish out a bolt that I dropped off the back of the carb down next to the starter motor in the engine block. These things are a beauty, these telescopic magnet thingy bobbies. Right, I've dismantled the carb for the 6th time, hit my head off the bonnet for the 8th time, and I've disconnected the fuel line from the main line to the tank. I'm just going to run her with the main pipe going into a bottle to clear out the last of the crap, change the filter, and then run her off fresh fuel, and then see if she fires. Turns out cars don't really like water as a fuel supply. Was that all for nothing? Did I take the carburetor off, strip it down about 5 times, well 6 times altogether including the last time, and it was bad fuel. Like some of you had suggested, they were asking was I using E10, but no, I used V Power Octane 99 in her, and she had a fresh tank, so that didn't even cross my mind. But yeah, it was a fueling problem. Nothing to do with the carb though, to do with the fuel. She's running again now though, firing like a bat out of hell. I'm not going to spend, it's getting on now, I'm not going to like rev the hell out of it and that. I'll fettle it later and get the idle adjustment and everything. But she's firing nice. Need to sort out the tank, need to flush all the tank out, get the crap out and make sure nothing gets back into it, no water gets back into it. And then continue on. Hit a hurdle there, didn't we? Will I show you some goodies that I got for Christmas? Something that a viewer has sent us as well, a little present. And all the goodies for the car and that I got for Christmas. This is just some of the stuff I've got off the missus, a sister, my brothers, my pops. I got a little metric and imperial spanner set. Of course, it's customary to lose the 8mm straight away. Imperial spanners, wrenches. Another set of imperial spanners. You can never have too many spanners or screwdrivers. A set of little deep sockets, imperial. A set of scrapers, big wipes, got to have the big wipes for the garage. Some nitrile reusable gloves, some nitrile disposable gloves. Someone must watch my videos because I know people always go on about me haggard wire brush. So some wire brushes, a power ratchet, power wrench, and an electronic ignition for the Viva, which will be fitting soon. Maybe next video, I don't know. Why not? Let's give it a go, eh? Mrs. Retro bought us a load of peanut Knoppers as well. The normal ones I have are hazelnut. I've been working my way through them. Far more impressive picture when I got them on Christmas Day, but I've been eating a lot of them. Maybe I'll chuck a picture in there. Some Whisper Golds, which I've had a lot of. Mrs. Retro's sister as well gave us a fair few packets of Knoppers, which I've ate already. And also, check out this. A viewer of the channel has sent me this, which is very nice. £25 Greg's card. Keep us topped up in coffees and pasties. And
oh yeah, baby!
Amazing this. Some of the amazing viewers of this channel. The stuff I've been sent. Pipe. Someone's made us stuff. Booklets. All the support and all the coffees you bought us and just watching the channel, subscribing and liking. Very much appreciated. But thank you very much, Aunt, for sending us this. There was a lovely note in it as well. Absolutely brilliant. Over the moon with it. Oh, and nearly forgot. I got this the day after Christmas off my pops because I was telling him I was going to buy a timing gun. And this showed up late. So he was going to keep it and give us it for my birthday. But yeah, so I've got a timing gun now to sort the timing. Fantastic. Oh, and they're metric, by the way, not imperial. But I do have some imperial ones somewhere as well. Oh, tool storage as well. Can't have too much of that. And hammers. That's it for this one. Thank you to everyone for continuing to watch and support this channel. Appreciate it very much. All the best for the new year, everybody. Please like, share and subscribe. And remember, talking about it isn't going to get it done. Go and crack on with your projects. Thank you very much again. I'll see you in the next one.
Behind your frozen eyes, skies ahead and laughter make me feel just one more thing than and even though that I despise the thing you're after, realize you're something more than I